Lead covering the pit lane, Stephen Cox, as we come to you live from Indianapolis Raceway Park. You take a look at the beautiful new press facility, a new grandstand, some 3,500 seats. Well, Tracy Hines won at Terre Haute in the USAC sprint race, then strapped on the wing and took on the All-Stars in Ohio.
Less than a week after winning his first USAC sprint car feature on dirt, Tracy Hines and the Willoughby crew strapped a wing on the Black 97 and headed off to Ohio to take a shot at the All-Star Sprint Circuit. A good crowd was on hand Friday at Attica for Chuck Ward Night, honoring the injured sprint car driver. At the start of the 40-lap feature, Californian Paul McMahon jumped from his pole position to the lead. Outside front row starter Donnie Gaydon had dropped McMahon to second when Jeff Shepard drove the silver #1 to the runner-up spot with 7 laps remaining. The very next lap, Shepard moved past Gaydon to the top spot for good, picking up his 3rd series win of the year. After making the feature the night before at Attica, Hines had trouble in the B on Saturday at Eldora when he tangled with Brian Ellenberger and missed the show by 2 spots. There was a family affair in the front row for the 30-lapper with Kenny Jacobs leading brother Dean at the start. Lap 9, the Brownsburg bullet Joey Saldana pulls the Eldora slide job on Byron Reed for 3rd that quickly becomes 2nd when Dean Jacobs drops out with motor problems. 9 laps to go. Dale Blaney back in the familiar 94 makes contact with McMahon, sending Blaney hard to the inside retaining wall. Dale was okay. On a late race restart, Saldana took his best shot at Jacobs, but the popular owner-driver held on to record his 18th career All-Star Eldora win.
And there's a look at Tracy, who will start inside row 3, and he's one of the drivers that will likely vie for an extra bit of change this season.
Yes, Simpson Race Products is putting up $50,000 on September 18th to any driver that can win both the midget and the sprint car feature here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. To qualify for that, you have to win one of these races leading up to it, one of the 7 races leading up to that event on September 18th. $50,000 is a whole lot of money.
That's kind of nice, but you know, you don't really need to dangle money in front of a race driver. They just like to go out there and race. Let's take a look now at the starting lineup. 30 cars, 20 from qualifying, 10 from the qualifying heat races. Ryan Newman, your fast qualifier. Gary Heber will start outside the front row. In the second row, a former champion of this division, Dave Darwin, and Doug Dodaro out of the super modified ranks. There's Tracy Hines and 3-time champion Jimmy Sills in row 3. In the fourth row, Russ Gamester and Tony Elliott, the defending USAC sprint car champion. Pat Abel, Brad Knopfsinger occupy row 5. In the sixth row, it's Jay Drake and Derek Davidson. In the seventh row on the inside, there is your defending champion, Jason Leffler. Brian Tyler starts outside. Then it's Kip Beard and Jason McCord in row 8. In the ninth row, Chet Phillip and Bentley Warren. In row 10 on the inside, look at that, Kenny Hamilton, that's Davey's dad, and Robbie Flock. In row 11, Jack Hewitt, a 2-time champion of this division, and Jimmy McCune. Both those guys won the qualifiers. Dane Carter and Bill Bowie occupy row 12. The 13th row, Billy Peterball Jr. and Mike Ordway. In the 14th row, it's Paul White and Bill Tyler. And in the 15th row, J.J. Yaley and Tim Cox. 100 laps. This will be a workout.
It certainly will. We're going to be riding along with J.J. Yaley and along with Jason Leffler. Leffler, remember, only has really 3 laps in this race car. He'd never driven it before he qualified it, and now then he's going to have to, he's changed all the setups, I'm sure, to so that he likes the race car a little better as far as the handling aspects. But it'll be interesting to see how he does, how he moves up.
Well, of course, the thing is, it is a beast chassis. That is what he is used to driving. Bob East is here. Bob went down, kind of set the chassis. So the car will be set up very, very close to what he was attempting to run in his own car this evening.
But still, every race car has its own characteristics, and they're going to have to get exactly the right setup on it for him to move up through this field.
Everybody on their feet. The green flag is out. The Coca-Cola 100 is underway here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, and the redhead from Langhorne, Pennsylvania gets the good jump off the corner, and they head down the backstretch, and now going back around the high side is Ryan Newman. So Newman was really asleep at the wheel at the start, but comes back around to lead lap #1.
He came back very strong, took that lead back away. I don't think he liked it very much when Heber got that jump on him, and you can see on back in the field, there's a big gaggle of cars.
Well, the track record for 100 laps here, 42 minutes, 9 and 5,500 seconds, set back in 91 by Johnny Parsons.
Right. Here we're driving with Leffler. That's Jay Drake in the 6th car, the Ralph Powers mobile right in front of him. Tried to get in under him, going through turns 3 and 4. but had to fall back in behind them.
Now watch the steering wheel. Watch the movement of the steering wheel. We talked about a workout. Look how hard they're working in here on the pavement.
Yeah, you know, actually, he's not turning that wheel very much. He got through that corner pretty easily. And I think he'll try to do that, at least for the first part of the race. He doesn't want to get that right rear tire too hot very early.
So he just did right there.
Yeah, he did. He snuck down on the bottom of the racetrack. There's less banking on the bottom of the racetrack, so it's obviously going to be a little harder to pass down there.
Well, there's a look now at that shot that they makes a move on the low side, going along the number 6, and Jay Drake about to lose a position.
Yeah, he snuck up by Jay Drake, and now then he's going to start working on Pat Abold in the 28th.
That's his teammate.
That's exactly right. It is his teammate, so he wants to make sure he doesn't want to run into him, or his car owner won't be very happy.
Well, Johnny Vance, the car owner of these two blue cars, Johnny out of Dayton, Ohio, a second-generation car owner, back to the front. There's that 5-car length advantage between Ryan Newman and Gary Heber.
All right, Heber's hanging right in there with him. And you can see that's strung out just a little bit up here near the front of the field. They're able. It looks like he's trying to put a move right behind him. Jason Leffler trying to follow in his footsteps. Neither one of them can make the pass.
That was the number 40 of Brad Knopsinger up there. And then the 28. And then the number 2 car. You're right with Jason Leffler, a 2-time USAC midget champion. Got very close to the wall that time coming off the corner.
Boy, he sure did. He got awfully high. Brad Knopsinger in that black car leading that pack has been a chief mechanic down at the NASCAR ranks over the last several years. He was a sprint car driver prior to that, and he's always wanted to come back and run this series, and now that he's got the opportunity.
So once again, Ryan Newman continues to set the pace in the early laps.
That's Jay Drake in the 6 car. The 69 car, Brian Tyler, trying to get under him.
Well, Brian Tyler just today got an opportunity at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but it looks like Mother Nature may have her way, and he won't get a chance to qualify tomorrow.
Now Tyler has made that pass, and he's moving up on those 2 blue cars, the teammates of Leffler and Abold. As we look back now at Brian Tyler in the 69 car.
Come off the corner. Down the back straightaway into turn 3.
You can see he's gaining on him ever so slightly. It looks like right through the middle of the corner, he's a little bit quicker than Leffler is. I think Leffler's kind of settled back in there in that spot, decided just to run. Once Leffler tried that inside spot, and he got that tire a little bit hot, he had to back off. He had to cool that tire back down, because if you don't do that, the thing will just get hotter and hotter, and this is a long race, 100 laps.
Well, and this is where a driver will say, a patient driver will say, let the race come back to me. Let's not overdrive the car this early. 100 laps is a very long race on a very big racetrack. Here's a battle for second position. That is Dave Darland. He was the champion of this series 2 years ago and has come a long way in his proficiency on pavement. He was recognized as a short track sprint car driver on dirt. But I'll tell you what, he's pretty good on these big tracks now.
They've done a lot of testing. They came out here and tested a couple of weeks ago. Galen Fox, chief mechanic, wrenches that car. He does a great job. And he was beginning to think that maybe Darland wasn't going to be able to do all that great on the pavement. They came out here and tested. They found out that they got the race car where he likes it. And obviously, they've got him awfully close. He's really battling right now for second spot with Heber.
Of course, the more they battle for second, it really gives Ryan Newman a chance with the clean track in front of him to open up that gap a little more.
Well, right now, you've got to bide your time a little bit. As you said, 100 laps is a long way. I'm sure that Darland would love to get in the second spot, but he doesn't want to overheat his tire making that bid. He's going to have to bide his time, and if Newman gets out there a half a straightaway or so, that's not really that big a deal.
But Newman will have some traffic to contend with as he now is going by some of the back markers. I think that's Tim Cox that he just left. There again is that look at second position. That is Gary Heber. That yellow and red number 66. The bright blue number 56 is Dave Darland.
Tracy Hines in that black car behind them. He's running in 4th position right now. As now, once again, it looks like Darland tries to sneak down to the inside. He did not have a good enough run on him to make that pass, though.
And back at the front, there is the number 14 of Ryan Newman. Now a half straightaway advantage as they go by Tim Cox. As Cox stays to the low side, they move safely by in that higher groove.
Yeah, Ryan Newman has pulled out into a half a straightaway lead over those guys. They don't want to let him get too far ahead. I mean, I was thinking it wouldn't be too bad if he got a half straightaway, but he keeps stretching that thing out, and it could be big trouble for anybody trying to beat him if he gets much farther ahead.
Well, he gained 3 points for his fast qualification qualification effort this evening, which ties him with Brian Tyler for second in the point standings. He's only 6 points now behind Dave Steele. Dave is a spectator this evening as there is a move to the inside to battle for second. So a win here by Ryan Newman could give him the points lead this evening going into next Friday evening's dirt race of the Indiana Mile at the Indiana State Fairgrounds.
All right, you can see Dave Darland is faster right now than Gary Heber. He's tried a couple of different times to get below him, hasn't been able to do it, though. As we take a look at our leader in heavy traffic now, right now, as Newman goes by Tyler.
So he gingerly works his way through traffic with almost a straightaway advantage right now, as you see one of the drivers looking on, as we'll take a break and come back with more from Indianapolis Raceway Park. Complete lap number 21. To the right of your screen is the blue 56 of Dave Darland. To the left is the 111, the red car of Jimmy Sills. And it was Dave Darland, as we went away to break, battling for second position, and he's the one that triggered it. Dave in the blue car on the inside.
He gets down on the inside of Heber, getting into turn one, tried to get in there a little bit too hard. The back end just got away from him. He just got in way too hard. The back end came around. He slid up the racetrack. Hines barely gets through. Sills tried to follow him. He couldn't make it. He caught the back end, and there's heavy damage to both Sills and Dave Darland's car. Here, once again, very flat down there. He got in way low, almost down on the yellow line. He just lost the back end. He just didn't have the room to make that pass. The thing started sliding back up the racetrack after it got half sideways right there. One car gets through, the second doesn't, and major damage to both Sills and Darland.
It looked like he got off the brake and let the car roll up the racetrack.
Well, he may have thought that he was getting out of the way when, in fact, everybody had already moved to the top to try to get around him. And that's a tough break for Darland and Sills both. Those cars were very, very strong. Those top 5 cars seem to be the class of the field, and now there's only 3 of them left.
23 laps complete. There is Dave Darland taking the long walk back to the pit lane. There are 3 lap cars now between first and second under this yellow. As we take a look at the top 5, Ryan Newman, who has led from the pole position, is out in front. Gary Heber, again, with those 3 lap cars between those two. Tracy Hines just squeezing through, as you saw, is third. Doug Dodaro is now fourth. And Tony Elliott, your defending USAC Stoops Freightliner Sprint Car champion, now in the 5th position. There is a look at the M&L Plumbing number 14 of Ryan Newman, as he has a chance to cool the tires and take a breather under yellow, working on lap 25 here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Well, last weekend, the NARC Sprint Cars were at the Silver Dollar Speedway in Chico, California for 2 days of racing. Although Friday's event was not NARC sanctioned, it showcased some series regulars and some darn good racing.
In the feature, pole sitter Mark Diskey jumped out in front at the start, but before the first circuit was complete, there was an incident involving Randy Hannigan and Todd Bammer. Watch the lower right as these two make contact, putting Hannigan into the wall. Hannigan did restart, but was a non-factor the rest of the way. On lap 6, 2 more cars share rubber as Tim Kading gets into the side of Jason Statler. Statler goes sliding, then gets airborne. Neither would return. Brent Kading and Ziske were battling for the lead on lap 9 when a stop car in turn 4 brought out the caution. Moments later, Ziske's left rear tire went flat, allowing Kading to take the lead and the victory. Saturday featured the NARC Dave Bradway Jr. Memorial Race. There was only one altercation as Terry Cox smacked the wall in the opening lap. There was very little drama after that as Kading dominated the remainder of the race. Friday's winner led every lap on his way to the checkered flag. Randy Tyner and Randy Hannigan finished second and third, respectively.
Well, there's a look at your leader under yellow now on lap 29. Now I think we have that mic snafu fixed, and he has Dave Darland. This is Stephen Cox.
Thanks, Gary. Boy, Dave had a really good race car tonight, but it all slipped away in 1 and 2. David, what happened?
Yeah, sure did. Like you said, we had a great car, and I was running third there following Gary Heber, and he picked up a push about 10 laps before the crash, and I was just trying to find a way around him. Finally did get a good run off of 4, and we drag raced down the main straightaway and into 1. We was both just trying to go in there a little deeper than the other guy, and I just had to go in a little too low and got the car loose getting in, and then I tried to, I didn't want to get into him, so I just kind of had to let the car come on around, and then when I did, I blocked the road for, I think Jimmy Sills got into me there after I'd spun out, so just one of them things. Was trying a little too hard too early.
Better luck next time, Dave.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
You know, Larry Rice, it's okay to out-brave somebody if you're in a good groove. If you're too low on the racetrack, you're going to lose it.
Well, that's exactly right. I think he made an error. I think he knows he made an error, but he'll just have to come back and not do that again next time around.
Well, as you see, the leader, Ryan Newman, picks up the throttle, and that is the Dane Carter. They're a lap car right behind him. In fact, there are, well, there's only one lap car now, I guess, between first and second. And there is Tracy Hines going by the lap car of Tyler.
Yeah, he's got way down on the inside trying to get through those lap cars. All the guys running on second on back are behind some lap cars, and it's going to make it very difficult for them as they try to work their way through. We're working back here with Jason Leffler, who's running back in about 10th spot right now. He lost a couple of spots here in the last 2 laps.
Well, let's watch now. If we don't have a chance to watch Jason from the cockpit to see if he's working the steering wheel even anymore, to see if the handling is starting to go away from that race car.
And right here we see that's Tracy Hines. He just got around one of those lap cars, but that's Abold in that light blue car on the outside, and the 51 car, that's Russ Gamester. So those guys really having a battle. The Knopfsinger right in front, Gamester on the inside, and of course Leffler, who we're riding with.
Now let's watch Leffler's steering wheel and see if the handling has gone away at all on car number 2.
Well, it doesn't appear that it's gone away too much. He had to fall back in behind Knopfsinger, but he has gained a couple of spots. Tony Elliott's in the yellow car, 2 cars in front of him. It seems like he might have lost a spot or 2 as Tyler got around him on that restart.
You can see all the cars getting just a little loose coming off the corner. And look at this group of cars. And there he goes to the inside of Knopfsinger. Does not have room to make the pass.
Yeah, there's Tyler on the outside of him. I was wrong. I thought Tyler was in front of this group. He was behind Leffler, and that's Gamester also right behind him back there. So Gamester's fallen back a spot or 2 here on this restart as well.
That's Knopfsinger in the black car. As you go back on board with the CarQuest cage cam, that is Jason Leffler still looking for a path by on the inside.
Yeah, and that's Tyler up there in that blue and yellow car. He is a lapped vehicle, but right now Tony Elliott having trouble in that yellow car getting around him. Knopfsinger in the black car trying to, he's just following the lap car of Tyler, trying to find a way to get around both of them.
Now watch the steering wheel. All he is doing is really reacting to the rear of that race car. Every time he turns that wheel back to the right, he's catching the rear end because the rear end's getting loose.
Right. He mashes on the throttle as much as he dare. Every once in a while, it'll just break the back end loose a little bit, and he'll have to turn it back to the right. But really, that car seems to be working very well as he sets that steering wheel in motion going through the corner, and he doesn't steer it back and forth too much until he's coming off the corner.
Well, of course, Dave Steele in that car has led 27 laps this season coming into this race. Brian Tyler had led the most circuits at 29. And Mike Bliss, in his victory down in Orlando in January, had led 23 of that event.
Yeah, Tyler in the 69 car tried to get under. He couldn't make that move either as everybody really bunched up. As we're taking a look at J.J. Yaley as he's, after starting clear in the back of this field, he's right up there amongst them in this group.
Boy, that's tight, hold your breath racing right there, because one miscue, you're going to wipe out about 6 or 7 cars. It's now like the Talladega draft with a restrictor plate.
Exactly. They got about 12 or 14 cars in that huge group right there trying to get around Tyler. Now it looks like a couple of them have gotten by, and they're going to string on by him now.
Well, Tyler still works on the rear of that blue number 2 of Leffler. Jay Drake is in the pit lane for a second stop. He stopped under yellow, and now he's back in to change the right rear.
Yeah, it looks like he has had a couple of problems. He's been in that pit lane a couple of different times. It's going to kill any chance he had of winning this race. As Brian Tyler down on the inside of Leffler, this time he makes that thing stick right on that yellow line and does make the pass.
Well, right now, this race is all Ryan Newman's. He led from the start. He gained the pole position, a straightaway advantage. There's the battle for second. Tracy Hines looking for a way around Gary Heber. And Heber's having a great ride. He's recognized for his expertise on dirt. Former winner of the Hoosier 100 at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. This is the best ride I've seen from him on pavement.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. He's got that car. He's got a little bit of a push. That's why he's slowing up a little bit off the corner, giving those guys this big run. But Tracy just hasn't been able to find a way around him yet. The danger for Tracy Hines is, number one, he doesn't have
contact right there.
Well, that's one of the dangers. You don't want to run into the guy. That's right. You don't want to run into him. He could spin both of you out. He doesn't want to get in under him like we saw Dave Darland do just a minute ago. So he's got to pick his spots carefully and make sure he's got that pass made before he goes up there and does anything silly.
Well, you heard Dave Darwin say in our interview with him that he knew Gary Heber was pushing. The car was not handling. A driver goes to school on the driver in front of him. Take 3 or 4 laps. Take a look at the car, know what the car is doing, and then go after it.
Well, see, what Heber does is he pushes up in the middle, then he gets the car kind of stopped right in the middle of the corner and turns it right to the left, right across the bottom of the racetrack. And right there, when he does that, right there exactly, the slowest point, and that's where Tracy Hines keeps giving him a little bump right in the middle of the corner.
Tracy Hines began his career in Newcastle on a little bicycle, a BMX bicycle, went to quarter midgets before going to full-size midgets. Kind of watched his older brother, Ted Hines, win 3 speedrun midget championships. Of course, the son of Jim Hines, who was pretty proficient himself in midgets and sprint cars. That's certainly a racing family.
Yeah, Pat Abel in that blue car now, he's put himself into contention. And it looks like Tracy Hines is sitting back there just waiting for a couple laps. I think he's got that tire a little bit hot trying to go around Heber, so he's going to wait. If Heber keeps pushing the front end as badly as he is, that right front is going to go completely away before long. I don't think he can keep that thing underneath him for another 50 or 60 laps.
Tracy Hines working on him, though. It gave the 22 car of Abel a chance to get closer.
Exactly, and Abel is all over both of them right now. And you can see Hines, he's a little bit loose. He's got the right rear a little bit hot, and so now he wants to run that thing straight and just stay there for a couple laps until he gets that tire back under it.
This car, the 37 team, has won. In fact, that car won at Dupont a few years ago with Stevie Reeves on board. And now move to the inside in turn 3. He may have the pass made. No, he doesn't have enough room.
See, right there, Abel, he's right behind both these guys wondering where the heck to go. But now then it looks like Tracy Hines might have that pass made because he's got the groove taken away from Heber. Heber can't make that dive down along the bottom. See how far left he had a wheel turn? He's got a really bad push in that car.
Now watch Tracy Hines pull away, because sometimes battling for a position, the car in front can be holding up the car in back, which I think was the case. You're going to watch Tracy Hines pull away. And Avon goes by, so there is your second and your third and your fourth position card, but a big gap over a straightaway advantage for your leader, Ryan Newman. Lap, Ryan Newman continues to show the way by at least a straightaway over Tracy Hines. There's the third place car, Pat Abel, Gary Heber, and Tony Elliott rounding out the top 5 as you ride with Jason Leffler. To take a look at the leader, the youngster who is a junior, just finished his junior year at Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana, majoring in engineering. Yeah, and he's going to have a degree to go along with his racing degree.
And that was Irish Jimmy McCune that he just went around. They used to be teammates on a midget team not too long ago, but right now, looks like Newman's got the best of this trio, or Dewsum, as he went around him.
Well, he's a former midget rookie of the year, a former rookie of the year of this division. There is Tyler looking to the inside of car number 20. That is Tony Elliott. That's the battle for the 5th position.
And then right behind him in the red car is Gamester. Gamester has been a former champion of this division. Elliott, of course, was a sprint car champion last year. Tyler, he's been a champion in this division, or in the sprint car division. So all 3 of these guys have won championships.
Gamester's a midget champion from about 79, so 3 past champions nose to tail down the backstretch. That's the battle for 5th position.
And they are catching the 4th place of Gary Heber while they're battling each other. There's Heber just now coming in. That push in his car keeps getting worse and worse. And now Elliott and Tyler and Gamester. Oh, look at this. Tyler goes way to the bottom of the racetrack. Still couldn't get around.
Well, of course, most of these drivers now utilize the radio. So Ryan Newman's crew, Fred Eden, his dad, able to tell him what type of a lead that he has. And we've got an engine expiring in turn 1. And that will likely bring out another yellow as we see the yellow flag being displayed. You can see the puffs of smoke right there. And that is White in number 100. So Paul White, one of the 2 rookies in this evening's race, will be a sideline spectator. He came up from Temple, Texas to race this evening. Yeah, long drive to come up here and have a short race.
Yeah, Turbines Incorporated, of course, giving $300 to the top rookie of the race. And it looks like Kip Beard will probably be that rookie since he was the only other one in the field tonight.
By a process of elimination, he's going to stay out there and pick it up. So 59 laps have now been completed. A big lead is now diminished under the yellow. We'll take this break, come back with more live from Raceway Park. I'm not sure exactly what Bob was saying there as we tried to eavesdrop again on the conversation from Bob East in the pit area. And it looks like we're going to have the lights of the pace car are out, and we should go green this time as they come down and complete lap 67. And so the field belongs to Ryan Newman. The green flag is out. You heard Bob East say green, green. We're back to racing, and immediately Tracy Hines hits by one of the lap cars.
Oh, we got a crash. And that is Leffler, looks like. It is Leffler. He got tangled up with somebody back there on that restart.
Still yellow. Go get your spot back.
Now, he can get his spot back. The ruling is that if you stop under the yellow, you must go to the end of the field. He did not stop. He kept the engine running, and therefore they should revert to the position you were when that restart came about. So he's very, very lucky, number one, that he didn't get crashed a lot worse than that. Number two, he's going to get moved back up
he
there.
needs to go to the tail. The yellow is for him.
Yeah, come on and change tires.
Now you heard Janice East, Bob's wife, say you have to go to the back of the pack because the yellow is for you.
Don't pass the pace car.
Let's take a look. He got tagged in the back end. He was just running down the front straightaway, and somebody hit him in the back end, spun him around. Now, the ruling has been, and that's what Janice East was telling him, because the yellow was cause for his spin, he was the cause of the yellow flag, he must go to the tail of the pack.
Well, he's coming in right now, so the yellow remains out.
Well, what's happened is, since they have to go to the back of the pack anyway, they're going to come in and change tires. They might have a bad tire, and since he's got to go to the end of the pack, there's no sense in staying out there. He might as well come in and get some new tires and fall in at the end of the pack and see if he can gain some of those positions back.
Well, let's see if we can see where he gets bumped. Right back here, it looks like he almost got it with a nose.
Yeah, he did not get bumped in the back. He was coming up the racetrack. His right rear caught the left front of another car. I didn't see which car it was, but when his right rear caught the left front of that other car, he didn't know it was out there. It did have half spin and nosed into the outside wall.
Let's go down to Stephen Cox.
They're in all kinds of difficulties for him, too. They're having a hard time getting the right side tire off the right rear. They just now got that task done. They're nearly done with the left rear. So, Gary, you pegged it. They might as well take on fresh rubber because they're already in deep enough. Jason's sitting inside the car. We can see him just making a little bit of adjustment on his belts. Remember, they had to bring in all of his equipment to put inside this race car because it was not set up for him. It was set up for Dave Steele.
No.
Spacers behind the seat, but they had to change the seat itself to move him a little bit closer. Remember, when he went out qualifying, Gary, he had to reach all the way to the furthest extent of his arms just to grab onto the steering wheel.
Bobby surveying the situation down there.
Yeah, they have lost a lap already, so he's, for all intents and purposes, out of the running in this race. Once they went around him, he had lost one complete lap, so he's going to be down at least one lap. It looks like he's going to lose another lap before they get around.
I know, Jason, we go over and over and over again.
And that was Janice East. I didn't catch exactly what she said, but they have lost at least one lap.
We need to get out there because they're coming by. You're going to go a lap down now.
I think this is going to put them 2 laps down, won't it?
Well, I think so. I think it seems to me like they've been passed twice by the leader, so they should be 2 laps down. So that really puts them out of any contention to win this race, or even finish in the top 15 or 20 probably.
So finally he gets away after a lengthy pit stop. Apparently he tangled with the number 18 of Doug Dodaro.
2 laps down, 29 laps to go.
Let's go back to the pit lane, Stephen.
Boy, you know why they lost 2 laps on that, Gary? These guys are not like IndyCar crews. They don't have all the automated equipment. They don't have all the stuff to come in for a 10-second pit stop. So whenever you come out to Indianapolis Raceway Park and your Silver Bullet Series car ends up with a flat, you do it the old-fashioned way. You get it out and you crank on it with good old elbow grease, and it takes a long time.
You know, I'm surprised they don't have air guns.
Well, normally you don't make a pit stop. I mean, if you make a pit stop, in most cases, you're out of contention anyway. This just happened to be a yellow flag, and if they had all the necessary equipment, maybe they could have gotten in and out without losing a lap.
Of course, the air gun, if you had one, wouldn't be where you needed it.
That's right. It'd be the wrong spot. So, but it just is not necessary. hardly ever do you make a pit stop in this kind of racing. They had 150-lap races here a few years ago when I was running, and in that case, some of the people did make pit stops and make them on purpose, but not in just a 100-lap race.
Of course, this facility is now owned by the National Hot Rod Association. We thank them for this fine grandstand they've given us here. And, of course, this track has been in existence since 1961. As the green flag flies, they complete lap number 73, so a lot of laps still to go. And let's see if Ryan can hang on. He got a good restart, one-lap car now between first and second. And let's see what Tracy Hines can do with that one.
Well, Tracy Hines got around one now, then he's going to get the other.
That's like Jimmy McCune.
That's Pat Abold in that blue car, the second car behind him. He also is trying to get around those lap cars and get up there and challenge as he runs in third position.
And there is Gary Heber in that yellow and red number 66.
And Heber probably benefited the most by the yellow. His right front was getting so hot, he was pushing worse and worse. This should have given it a chance to cool down and him a chance to probably run faster for the next 20 laps or so.
But just as it was before that yellow, the gap continues to widen between first and second.
Yeah, Newman is really on a rail. He has that car really dialed in. As Abel still trying to get around Jimmy McCune. He's in third spot. Wants to get up there and at least have a chance to go after Tracy Hines.
You can see the gap right there between first and second. They complete lap number 76. 24 laps to go.
Now that Abel, there's nobody between the first three positions. There's Brian Tyler now. He is underneath Heber, and now he takes that spot. So Brian Tyler's moved out.
Let's see if Tyler now can put some distance between his white 69 and the yellow and red number 66.
But Gary Heber's picked up that push. It's a very, very bad push once again.
It looks to me like maybe, just maybe, Tracy Hines has closed in just a bit as we continue to watch Gary Heber.
Yeah, Heber's Mike Ordway in the lap car, and right now it appears that he's running as fast, if not faster, than Gary Heber, especially through the middle of the corner. Look how fast, or how slow Heber is really through the middle of that corner.
Well, J.J. Yaley has had a very eventful day as they had to replace the clutch in the 67 car. As you go back on board, he had been in 17th position on the restart. Let's see how much he moves that steering wheel, Larry.
Yeah, you can see he's still quite a ways back in this field, and he's not sawing the wheel back and forth too much. A little bit right there. You can tell the car's very loose getting off the corner because he had to really steer that car because it came a long way around getting off of that corner. Whoa, a big crash right in front of him. We were almost in the middle of that one.
3 cars are involved. Make that 4 cars involved over there. As we go back to yellow, there is the number 2 car. Leffler back in it, the 40 car of Knopfsinger, and that number 6 of Jay Drake.
Wow, what a terrible break. Jason Leffler just couldn't catch a break all night long. From a blown engine to a car he hadn't been in, now then probably the 3rd incident of the night for him. It's just been a tough night for him.
Time to climb out and take the walk back to the infield.
Yeah, there's not much you can do. Jay Drake, he's taking a look at his car to see what the damage was, and Knopfsinger. Let's see if we can take a look. Looked like Knopfsinger. You can see him back there in that black car about halfway back in the field. He's car down there. McCord hit the wall up there on the outside of him, but he's way on the bottom of that field. Oh, looked like he just tapped, looked like the Dero got a little sideways, and he tapped the Dero, and then he slid right back up the racetrack. Leffler had no place to go. Jay Drake had no place to go. The 29 car, the 29 Bentley Warren barely made a by on the outside. I couldn't think who it was there for a second.
Bentley Warren is driving the 29 car of Seymour Enterprises, a car that's won many, many times in this division in the capable hands of Kenny Schrader. You can see that JJ is on the brakes trying to avoid it, and he just slides by on the high side.
He barely made it through that thing. It was after he got by that everybody else ran into him.
And you talk about well, I was going to say ageless. I'm not sure that's the word, but I tell you what, just how long has Bentley Warren been driving?
I don't know, but he's still
collecting.
fast.
Is he collecting Social Security yet?
I don't know, but he's still pretty fast. He's been very quick just about every place that he's run in these Silver Crown cars. Tonight he's not running quite as well as he usually does, but he's still very, very quick. As you can see, a lot of liquids, a lot of fuel out there on the racetrack right now.
Well, there he is right there. So we remain under yellow. 82 laps are now complete, so we'll have a real shootout when we come back to Raceway Park. Tonight's live coverage of the Coca-Cola 100 live from Indianapolis Raceway Park has been brought to you by Daytona USA, the official attraction of NASCAR. And by Yamaha Watercraft, solid thinking for a liquid world. We remain under yellow as we thank CarQuest for their support again this season. For your local store, call CarQuest Auto Parts, 1-800-492-PART. Some great onboard cameras just like this one from J.J. Yaley's number 67.
Yeah, that in-car camera showed us how busy he was missing that accident. You can see there they've got you can see Gary Pettigo, this team owner for Scott Goodyear at the Indianapolis Speedway. He also is a sponsor on this car that J.J. Yaley is running.
And J.J.'s up to 14th position with those 3 drivers knocked out in that crash. So it's been a long day, a long evening for him, but he has persevered, and he could end up with a top 10 finish here this evening.
If you look up at the top of the racetrack, look at all the marbles. We talk about marbles that get on a racetrack. That's all bits of rubber up there at the top of that racetrack that these guys don't want to get in. And once you get up in those marbles, look at that. These tires have really been eaten up on this racetrack, and they've thrown all that rubber up there at the top. You don't want to get that high on the racetrack.
If you get into that, Larry, it'll take you right to the fence.
Absolutely. And you can see there's a distinct difference where everybody's been running and throwing that up to the top. The groove is just below where all that those marbles are.
Well, once again, we're under yellow for a 3-car crash, and this is what happened.
The black car on the inside with the pink numbers. That is the guy that starts it. Brad Knopfsinger gets in there. It looks like he and Dodaro, I'm not sure whether he hit Dodaro or Dodaro got a little sideways, but whatever the reason, he spun and is sitting sideways. He's a sitting duck. Leffler can't miss him. Drake can't miss either one of them. And you can see the radiator busted. It's water all over the place. That's what most of that fluid is right there. Now then, they've got some dry on it. But let's go down to Stephen Cox with Jason.
Thanks, Larry. Boy, Jason, when it rains, it pours. It looked to me like you almost got caught up in this as a victim.
Yeah, I was a victim, but I guess I should have quit while I was ahead. You know, I got pretty lucky there on the front straightaway, and I was 2 laps down just trying to get points. Feel bad for Johnny Vance and David Steele wrecking his car, you know. That's racing. You take the good with the bad, but, you know, tonight's been a tough night. We'll go to Kokomo tomorrow and kick some butt.
Well, you got a smile on your face, and you look to be healthy still.
Yeah, I feel good, so I'll probably be a little sore tomorrow, but, you know, that's the way it goes.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
Typical attitude. Okay, that race is behind us. We've got one tomorrow, and there we take a look at the top 5. 87 of 100 laps. Ryan Newman leading Tracy Hines, and this is what Tracy wanted. This is not what Ryan wanted. This yellow flag, we could have a shootout.
Well, we will find out right now with only about 13 laps to go if Tracy Hines has anything at all for Ryan Newman. And believe me, if that car has anything at all, Tracy Hines will give it all it's got.
Well, Tracy, of course, won that USAC Stoops Freightliner sprint car race at Terre Haute, his first victory in a sprint car on dirt. He's becoming very versatile, and he could go after a hat trick here if he could win this race tonight and win the midget race tomorrow night. It's only been done twice in the history of USAC where drivers won 3 straight races in 3 different divisions. The late Rich Vogler did it, and of course Jack Hewitt did it last year in the 4 Crown all on the same day.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see if he can pull it off.
Speaking of sprint cars, hey, we're going to be there for that one, the half or the quarter mile, High Bank Anderson Speedway. Next week, midnight Eastern time, you can catch all the action here on ESPN2. The Thunder Series goes to Anderson for the Tyson 50. That, of course, is a warm-up for that grueling, grinding 500-lap Little 500, which will be staged next Saturday night up in Anderson. We've driven in at 500 laps on a quarter-mile track with 33 sprint cars.
Makes you very tired. Meanwhile, back here, let's watch and see if Tracy Hines, he's going to go after him right away, right down to the bottom of the racetrack.
89 laps complete, an 11-lap shootout between 2 young lions, the 2 young guns, one from South Bend, Indiana, one from Newcastle, Indiana. But look at Ryan, back to about a 5-car length advantage off the corner, 90 laps complete, 10 laps to go.
Pat Abel is back there in that blue car. He fell back a few feet, but Tracy Hines tried to get under him on the restart. That's the only chance he thought he was going to have, and he looked like he was probably right, because once he didn't get it on the first corner, Newman has pulled out into several car length lead again.
Well, now we'll see just what a veteran driver this youngster can be, because now is when you start hearing things in the race car, it's talking to you. Now is when you have to maintain that concentration. There's a good battle for 3rd position.
Ryan Tyler right down on the bottom of the racetrack trying to get around Pat Abel. He seems to be working very well right right on the bottom of the racetrack. Abel pushing up just a little bit there in the middle of the corner. Tyler just can't quite get up far enough to get around him now. He's going to try once again.
Takes a look to the inside, stays very low in turn 1.
Abel's getting a nice run off. He gets up high, and he gets a run down that bank, down the straightaways, and he gets a good run off the corners and is able to hang on to that third position.
Well, back up in front, about the same distance between first and second. Now 93 laps complete, 7 laps to go. As you look at that gap between third and fourth, about a car or 2-car length advantage now.
Yeah, Tyler's still trying to find a way to get around Abel. Abel is running kind of an odd pattern around here as he diamonds the corner. Now that he gets the back end loose, looks like he got very, very loose, and he gave Tyler a big shot on him. Tyler couldn't take advantage of him, wasn't quite close enough.
Oh, and he slides.
Both of them a little bit loose. It looks like Abel just gets looser and looser, but Tyler goes in so low that he doesn't have a chance to get a run on him coming off the corner.
Looks like the red sprint cars in Eldora.
Just about. They're both getting looser and looser. They know, though, with only a few laps to go, this is no time to save your tires. You got to go for it. Meanwhile, the 51 car of Gamester snuck up on both of them while they're sliding sideways.
So tonight, coming up next, we're running a few minutes late in our 100-lap Coca-Cola 100 live from Indianapolis Raceway Park, and there is the pass for position. So Tyler goes to third, and here comes Gamester.
Yeah, Gamester's, I think he's running faster than both of those guys right now. He just has to find a way around with only a few laps to go. He could stand a chance to get back up, clear up the third spot.
Well, we're watching the best action on the racetrack right now because up in front, Ryan Newman has almost a half-turn advantage over Tracy Hines, and Newman about to record his first ever win in the Coors Light Silver Bullet Series. And this will give him the points lead going into next Friday night's. There's his mom. There's Diane, his mom, watching. His sister Jamie is down there as well. His dad Greg, the kind of crew chief for his racing effort. With 2 laps to go, the white flag out the next time by.
Well, this young man's been knocking on the door for a couple of years. He really likes this division. He's been up front. We saw earlier down there at Gateway last year. He was right behind the 2 guys that finished first and second, and he's be a very deserving winner if he can last just 4 more corners.
Well, as we told you, this is the team that Jeff Gordon won the title for back in 1991. So the team has some good experience. They have a championship under their belt. And it looks to me like this could be a team to reckon with for the championship this year. Final corner, off the corner, dual checkered flags, and Ryan Newman from South Bend, Indiana. There's Jamie, his sister. There's his mom, Diane. And he leads it flag to flag as he takes the victory here in the Coca-Cola 100.
This is a real family affair. That's one of the great things about this sport. Families all get involved.
There's Greg in the blue right in the middle. There's Greg, his dad, in the blue denim shirt. As the Fred Eads team with congratulations all around the victory lap. And so what a great ride for the youngster from South Bend.
Well, it's a terrific, terrific win for this young man. He's been trying for so long, and he's done a great job here tonight. There was never any doubt. He was in control.
Of course, we saw him finish second the last time we were on Thunder from Louisville. We'll watch him next Wednesday night from Anderson and see what he can do there with the sprint cars. So our congratulations to Ryan Newman, who takes the win over Tracy Hines. So for Larry Rice and Stephen Cox, I'm Gary Lee. Thanks for joining us. That wraps it up from Indianapolis Raceway Park. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. That's Go.com. Chassis. That is what he is used to driving. Bob East is here. Bob went down, kind of set the chassis. So the car will be set up very, very close to what he was attempting to run in his own car this evening.
But still, every race car has its own characteristics, and they're going to have to get exactly the right setup on it for him to move up through this field.
Everybody on their feet. The green flag is out. The Coca-Cola 100 is underway here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. And the redhead from Langhorne, Pennsylvania gets the good jump off the corner. And they head down the backstretch. And now going back around the high side is Ryan Newman. So Newman was really asleep at the wheel at the start, but comes back around to lead lap number 1.
He came back very strong, took that lead back away. I don't think he liked it very much when Heber got that jump on him. And you can see on back in the field, there's a big gaggle of cars.
Well, the track record for 100 laps here, 42 minutes, 9 and 5,500 seconds, set back in 91 by
$1,000 on September 18th to any driver that can win both the midget and the sprint car feature here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. To qualify for that, you have to win one of these races leading up to it, one of the 7 races leading up to that event on September 18th. $50,000 is a whole lot of money.
Yeah, that's kind of nice, but you know, you don't really need to dangle money in front of a race driver. They just like to go out there and race. Let's take a look now at the starting lineup. 30 cars, 20 from qualifying, 10 from the qualifying heat races. Ryan Newman, your fast qualifier. Gary Heber will start outside the front row. In the second row, a former champion of this division, Dave Darwin, and Doug Dodaro out of the super modified ranks. There's Tracy Hines and 3-time champion Jimmy Sills in row 3. In the fourth row, Russ Gamester and Tony Elliott, the defending USAC sprint car champion. Pat Abel, Brad Knopfsinger occupy row 5. In the sixth row, it's Jay Drake and Derek Davidson. In the seventh row on the inside, there is your defending champion, Jason Leffler. Brian Tyler starts outside. Then it's Kip Beard and Jason McCord in row 8. In the ninth row, Chet Phillip and Bentley Warren. In row 10 on the inside, look at that, Kenny Hamilton, that's Davey's dad, and Robbie Flock. In row 11, Jack Hewitt, a 2-time champion of this division, and Jimmy McCune. Both those guys won the qualifiers. Dane Carter and Bill Bowie occupy row 12. The 13th row, Billy Peterbaugh Jr. and Mike Ordway. In the 14th row, it's Paul White and Bill Tyler. And in the 15th row, J.J. Yaley and Tim Cox. 100 laps. This will be a workout.
It certainly will. We're going to be riding along with J.J. Yaley and along with Jason Leffler. Leffler, remember, only has really 3 laps in this race car. He'd never driven it before he qualified it, and now then he's going to have to, he's changed all the setups, I'm sure, to so that he likes the race car a little better as far as the handling aspects. But it'll be interesting to see how he does, how he moves up.
Well, of course, the thing is, it is a beat of the year. After making the feature the night before at Attica, Hines had trouble in the B on Saturday at Eldora when he tangled with Brian Ellenberger and missed the show by 2 spots. There was a family affair in the front row for the 30-lapper with Kenny Jacobs leading brother Dean at the start. Lap 9, the Brownsburg bullet Joey Saldana pulls the Eldora slide job on Byron Reed for 3rd that quickly becomes 2nd when Dean Jacobs drops out with motor problems. 9 laps to go. Dale Blaney back in the familiar 94 makes contact with McMahon, sending Blaney hard to the inside retaining wall. Dale was okay. On a late race restart, Saldana took his best shot at Jacobs, but the popular owner-driver held on to record his 18th career All-Star Eldora win.
And there's a look at Tracy, who will start inside row 3, and he's one of the drivers that will likely vie for an extra bit of change this season.
Yes, Simpson Race Products is putting up 50.
And covering the pit lane, Stephen Cox, as we come to you live from Indianapolis Raceway Park. You take a look at the beautiful new press facility, a new grandstand, some 3,500 seats. Well, Tracy Hines won at Terre Haute in the USAC sprint race, then strapped on the wing and took on the All-Stars in Ohio.
Less than a week after winning his first USAC sprint car feature on dirt, Tracy Hines and the Willoughby crew strapped a wing on the Black 97 and headed off to Ohio to take a shot at the All-Star Sprint Circuit. A good crowd was on hand Friday at Attica for Chuck Ward Night, honoring the injured sprint car driver. At the start of the 40-lap feature, Californian Paul McMahon jumped from his pole position to the lead. Outside front row starter, Donnie Gaydon had dropped McMahon to 2nd when Jeff Shepard drove the silver number 1 to the runner-up spot with 7 laps remaining. The very next lap, Shepard moved past Gaydon to the top spot for good, picking up his 3rd series win.